Hello everyone, today is Wednesday, March 25th. This is Mr. Hines Mathematics. I know you missed that, so I gave that to you today. Today we're going to be talking about 6.6 simple interest. Okay, so let's dive into this. It's going to take a couple minutes, so hopefully you stay tuned for the whole thing. I will try to keep everything I say relevant. Okay. So simple interest, we have another formula. So this chapter, percents, there's a lot of formulas you need to write down. So when you get ready for your test, I would suggest that you write down all of the formulas. So in this particular section, this is the formula, okay? So on every problem, I want you to write I equals PRT, okay? This is super easy to remember. If your parents... But unfortunately, you guys aren't old enough, but there used to be this really terrible shampoo called Pert Plus. It was in a green bottle. Guaranteed your parents have heard of it. But I always just remembered simple interest equals Pert Plus, PRT. You're going to have to find your own thing. So PRT, PERT. So that's simple interest. So what is simple interest? Interest is the amount of money that you either earn. If you put it into a savings account, for instance, it's how much money you would earn on that investment. So if you deposit $100 and you get 10% of that in interest, you would get $10. And on the flip side of that, if you borrow money from the bank, the principal, okay, is the P, which is the P in PERT. The principal is either how much you deposit or how much you borrow. So if you borrow money from a credit card company, for instance, they're going to charge you interest. Full disclaimer, they are not going to charge you simple interest. They are going to charge you compound interest, which is worse, and we will learn that at another time. Luckily, you guys aren't going to be getting credit cards anytime soon. But for the record, it will not be simple interest. It is worse. Compound interest is much worse. It compounds. It gets bigger and bigger, faster. Okay, so again, interest is the amount of money that you gain or owe, depending on your principal or the balance, okay? The rate, notice, is in decimal form. Let's underline that in red. In decimal form. So hopefully you're getting used to putting percents in decimal form. Remember, you move it 2 places to the left. The decimal, 2 places to the left. So we're going to get to 1, but 3%. 3% would be moving the decimal from here over 2 places and putting the 0. So 3%. So 3% equals 0.03. Okay, sorry, my writing's already starting off terrible. I'll try to do better. Okay, and then time in years. That's huge. Guaranteed you're going to have a problem on this homework that gives you months, okay? And you're going to be like, why can't I get this answer right? It's in years. So if you have 7 months, that 7 months needs to be converted into a fraction. So 7 months would be 7 out of 12 of the year. 7 months out of 12 months. So if it said in 7 months how much interest, then it would be 7 out of 12. So just thinking ahead, okay. I'm sure someone will have a question. I'll post that later. All right, so let's dive in. Actually, let's go back. Okay, so here's the thing about all formulas, okay? This is when we get to geometry. No matter what the formula is, I guarantee you that I have, how many variables do I have? I have 4 variables. That means they're going to give me 3 of those variables. So I could stop right there. You guys know how to do algebra, hopefully, from the last chapters. So all you're going to do is solve for the one they do not give you. Okay, they might give you P, R, and T, like in this first one, and then you're going to solve for I. Or they might give you I, P, and R, and you're going to solve for T, and so on and so forth. That's all this is, basically. Every now and then you have to use a little bit of your brains. Okay, so let's do some, and you'll start hopefully understanding. Okay, so I'm going to start off every problem by writing my formula. Okay, I recommend this for all of the, basically all of them, all of the problems in this chapter. Know where you're starting. Okay, so I equals PRT. So you deposit $500. So 5, and let's keep my equal signs lined up. For those of you who like to draw the line, let's draw a line. Okay, so P is this deposit of $500. Okay, the account earns 3%. 3% is the rate as a decimal. Don't forget 0.03. If you multiply this by 3, you will get a very different answer. And time is 3 years. Is it in years? Yes. So all I have, the variable it did not give me is I, which is the easiest one to solve for because it's all by itself over on the left already. We don't have to do any algebra. We just have to say 500 times 0.03, which is 15, and then multiply that by 3. So all I did was just put these in my calculator, and I get 45. I think I actually hit it twice. Let me do it again. 500 times 0.03, it should be 45, if that makes more sense. Equals times 3, yeah, 45. Okay, so interest equals 45. So, in 3 years, you earned 45. I actually should have I would like to put the dollar sign on it so it's official. So you earned $45 in 3 years on a $500 deposit at 3%. Hopefully that makes sense. Guaranteed your parents can help you with this math because we've all dealt with interest in a good or bad way. All right, finding an annual interest rate. So this one we're going to have to find the rate. Okay, so spoiler alert. All right, so I equals PRT. You deposit $1,000. Let's do the line for all the people who like lines. That's a terrible line, but I like it. All right, so the principal is $1,000. Deposit $1,000. Okay, the account earns 100 interest. I, simple interest. It even says simple interest. Is I. Okay, and then in 4 years. So that's the time, and it's going to ask us for R. So I'm going to put the time first. I'm going to go a little out of order so that I can keep my variable last. Okay, I don't have to, but it just makes it so whatever your variable is going to go last. So even if the principal was the last variable, we would put it last, just because it's going to make more sense. Okay, so now I'm just going to do some multiplication. That's easy multiplication, which is 4,000. Notice I'm not putting multiplication signs. I'm using full parentheses. So just remember that when you do parentheses, this means multiply. This is the way you're going to start seeing this more and more in math because it's better for inserting things into formulas. Okay, 4,000R. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 4,000 to get R by itself. Okay, and R equals, well, you know you can get rid of my zeros, so it equals 1 over 40. So 1 divided by 40 equals 0.025. Okay, and it is a rate. So rate, you might want to make a note in your notes. Rates are always as a percent, okay? So 0.025 is not the answer. The answer is that R equals, and now I have to go to a decimal, so 2.5%. Okay? All right, so hopefully this is all making sense. And now we're going to look at, this is our last one. So hopefully I'm not running out of time too much. I want to look at two different things. So I want to answer this question after we just do this really quickly, solving for the I, okay? Or wait, let's see. How much is each payment? Let's just solve this normal. Okay, so we have $600. I equals PRT. Okay, So $600 is our principal. Annual interest rate is 15%, 0.15. And you pay off the loan in 2 years. Okay, so now that's gonna tell us what our interest is, but then it's gonna ask us, so yeah, this makes us solve what I was gonna solve anyway, good. Okay, so this is gonna ask me how much is each payment. Okay, so first we have to start with how much interest did we pay in 2 years, okay? And this is the easy one again. 600 times 0.15 equals 90 times 2 equals 180. Okay, so now it's going to make us use our brain, as most of the modeling real lives do. Okay, so the interest is 180. Okay, so that means I owe the amount I originally paid. Okay, this is how credit cards work, only even worse. So I owe the credit card $600, plus I owe them $180 in interest. $780 total. Okay, now I did that in 2 years. So, just so you know, also, full disclaimer, this is not how it would work because of compound interest. But anyway, with simple interest, if we were allowed to use simple interest, then we could just divide that 780 by the number of payments. So pause the video. We have 2 years. I want you to pause the video and see if you can figure out what do I need to divide by. Remember, this wants to know how many payments, equal monthly payments did I make in 2 years. Sorry, I've got a lot going on up here. There. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video and you figured out that it's 24 monthly payments. So I have to put 780 and divide it by 24, and I get 32.5. What does that mean? That is money, monthly payments. So I need to write this like money. So the monthly payments, hopefully you're saying this to yourself, is $32.50. Okay, remember, money always goes out to the hundredths place. All right, love you guys, praying for you, and I will have an update. I'm gonna do like a little video where you can actually see that I'm just as ugly as I was before. I'll probably do a video by the end of the week, just kind of a hello, tell you what's going on, enjoy your spring break kind of video. But I do really miss you guys and hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon.